Hi, everybody. Hub Arkush, along with Kevin Fishbain and Arthur Arkush here for Chicago Football. As we continue our series on the bare necessities, which players' performances in 2015 will have the greatest impact on the team's success. And we start at number 15, Kevin, with Jarvis Jenkins, a guy that a lot of Bears fans may not know much about, but actually a former second-round draft pick who is probably the closest thing to a pure 5 technique on this roster, a guy who can play defensive end in a 40 front, a 30 front, or possibly go inside and play on the nose as well.
Well, that's why we had him crack the top 15, Hub, because Jarvis Jenkins, unlike Ego Ferguson, Will Sutton, who did not make the list, has that prior experience in a 3-4. Now, we don't know exactly where he's going to play. The only guy we know is going to be starting there is Jeremiah Ratliff, but Jarvis Jenkins, we got to imagine, is going to have a role in this 30 front because of that experience.
And Arthur, it's not like he was a complete bust in Washington with the Redskins. He just never developed at the level that you would hope a high second-round pick would.
Right, but still young, and like you said, a high second-round pick, so the pedigree is there. The belief is that maybe a change of scenery. Sometimes it's all about fit. Maybe he's a better fit in this Fangio defense. He brings a little bit of versatility, and they hope will bring some pass rush ability. He's shown a little bit as a run stuffer, not so much as a pass rusher.
Folks, most people believe that Jared Allen is a future Hall of Famer. Hard to believe he's just 14 on our list of the bare necessities. But you know, Kevin, he doesn't fit this defense. He's trying to make a change at the age of 33, be a stand-up linebacker. Probably will be able to rush the passer okay from there. Can he drop into coverage? Will the leverage points in the rush be such that he's limited in his effectiveness?
You know, I don't think any player had more discussion than Jared Allen when it came to these rankings, Hub. He was all over the map. I think we can agree on this. He has a lot of value in his leadership. I give Jared Allen a lot of credit. He's been at every voluntary practice since day one, trying to learn this new position. Here's the reason I kind of knock him lower on my personal list. If Jared Allen, for some reason, does not have a good year, does not work out as a nickel edge rusher for them, is it really that bad for the team going forward? They have other bodies there. They have other guys they could try. If he plays great, gets 7, 8, 9 sacks, ceiling's high.
And Arthur, let's be realistic about this. The contract that was sold to us as cap-friendly last year by Phil Emery turns out to be a $12 million disastrous cap hit this year, and that's probably as much as any of the reason that they're making this experiment or pushing for it as hard as they can, because in OTAs, he did not look great trying to drop into coverage.
No, I don't know if he looked necessarily flexible or athletic enough, but the contract's a lot like Jay Cutler's. The new regime was saddled with it. They had no choice. I think what Kevin said about the leadership, he may not have been great on the field, but had a very positive impact, I believe, on this club, and he brings those instincts and the track record that is really seldom seen elsewhere on the club.
At number 13, Kevin, Tim Jennings, a player I'm surprised is being questioned as much as he is. Yes, he was not as good last year as he was in his 2 Pro Bowl seasons prior to last year, but he's probably the Bears' best man cover guy in that secondary.
Yeah, and he can also stop the run. We know that about Tim Jennings. You know, did not have the great year, but the reason you have him as high too, he's going to play a factor in that pass defense. If Tim Jennings is a good year, whether it's playing inside or outside, that means a lot for the Bears' pass D.
And this is a young man we think will probably be the nickel or the slot corner when they go to the nickel defense, Arthur. He's more versatile than anybody else in that secondary. He doesn't have the future of Kyle Fuller. He's going to be 32 years old, but he's absolutely a guy who must perform to make the Antrell Roll experiment work and to give Fuller the luxury of learning the position.
Yeah, and I think that move inside was something we were all excited to see last year. It didn't work out because of the Charles Tillman injury, but at the end of the day, yes, the continuity for the secondary is crucial with Tim Jennings rebounding. The Bears hope that Kyle Fuller is going to become a consistent playmaker in this league. Tim Jennings already is one. He's coming off a down year. The question is, can he regain some of those impact plays?
Number 12 on the bare necessities, Christian Jones. Interesting player, undrafted rookie free agent last year. Would have probably been a 3rd-round pick, maybe even a 2nd, if not for some issues at the combine prior to the draft. Guy who showed flashes last year. Honestly, Kevin, I thought he might be an outside edge rusher. They're playing him inside. He's got to be a factor inside because they're not set at that position.
Well, I think it's interesting. It says a lot about what we think of Christian Jones, what the coaches think, and what the fans think, that he made it all the way to 12. Mason Foster was 19. John Bostic, Shea McClellan don't make the list. It's because of that potential that he has, and you think about what the 49ers had at inside linebacker, what Vic Fangio can do with players at that position. You got to imagine Jones could be very successful, and if he is, it means so much for this defense, not just for 2015, but going forward the next 2, 3, 4 years.
And Arthur, he looks the part. Sometimes you talk about passing the eye test. This is a kid who probably can play inside or outside. He's excited about playing inside and seems to be a different young man, a lot more vocal and seems more comfortable in his skin this year in that Bears uniform.
Yeah, I think so. He seems like a bright young guy. He's a very likable guy in the locker room, but at the end of the day, like you said, he's the prototype for the position. He has all the size and athleticism you look for, and I think he has a chance to bring a lot of physicality, a lot of excitement to the middle of the defense.
All right, we're going to start one short of the top 10, but at number 11, this will surprise some folks that he's not higher, Kevin White. I think this is where he fits, Kevin, and the reason is in the future, he can be one of the top 3, top 4. He's a rookie. He's got to earn that spot, and I don't think they're counting on him being a factor early in the season.
Well, remember, Jay Cutler is already more comfortable with Matt Forte, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett, and Eddie Royal than he is with Kevin White. Kevin White obviously has maybe the highest ceiling of all those players that I mentioned, but the thing with White, we know he's going to be a factor. The problem with these rankings having to do it so early, Hub, we don't know yet what role he's going to play in the offense, and I think he's got a really high ceiling there to have maybe a 1,000-yard rookie season. Who knows? But for right now, we got to temper expectations a little bit because he's a rookie.
Well, the other interesting thing about Kevin White, Arthur, is he missed some of the OTAs to be at the Rookie Premier League. He missed the veteran minicamp with an undisclosed injury. Nobody's knocking him for that. We're not worried about the injury. It's such valuable time for a rookie that it's going to delay his development a little bit.
And arguably the one knock on Kevin White coming out was that he was pretty raw, that he was coming from a system at West Virginia that was a little gimmicky, that he'd have to learn all three receiver roles, which he didn't have in Morgantown. So there is going to be a learning curve here for Kevin White. I'll throw one more word into the equation. It's speed. Kevin White brings speed to the table the Bears offense didn't have. That's why he has such a chance to be deadly right away.
He's going to be a factor. He just doesn't have to be a factor for the Bears to be successful early in the season. That is 11 through 15. We've still got the top 10 Bear necessities for 2015 coming, as well as the best coverage of training camp and the regular season 24/7. You want to stay right here at ChicagoFootball.com.